my last video, I kind of went over what happened. I didn't finish it, though. It ends with the lady being took away for having a very dangerous equipment in her backyard, which the guy installed, which also put him at risk for maluse and there's like general crimes. And then the bear, they're all tased, by the way, they all look stupid, gets transported to the Rocky Mountains where he lives now. That's pretty neat. But it's all like it's happening, and while this is going on, it's Oh, by the way, it's Easter. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, so this is all going on, and it's a thing. But then it ends with RJ staying there and chilling with them. But now there's a friendship, and the bad people are gone away. Now that concludes like the story of it. But now what I have to talk about is the importance of the movie, not just for its critique on modern society and how it invades the life of animals and it infringes on their natural habitat, but also the lifestyle of suburban living. So, in the beginning of the movie, we get the their land is shrunk, and this happens a lot. And it shows like the American dream, but the American dream comes at the cost of the other animals that live there, and this causes like a little like, hey man, that's a little weird, and so they're fighting for that, and they're just dealing with this whole situation where it's like, you might have the American dream. You might have these nice houses with these nice neighborhoods, with neighborhood watch and all this stuff. But what you're doing is you're taking away from the animals that live there naturally. And this is like a huge plot point because it creates the animals that come into these suburban neighborhoods. And you can see this in real life where suburban neighborhoods expand and animals come into these things like coyotes, deers. This is why you hear more and more stories of like raccoons, deers, bears, and coyotes becoming more prevalent in these communities. It's because nothing's stopping them. They used to roam that area like 10 years ago, and now there's houses there. And so they're like, hey, I'm going to chill with these houses. And so they do. And it results in conflicts because these exterminators or these people who take them away will come in and either mistreat them, kill them, or transport them to an environment which they're not very fond of. Like that bear that got transported to the Rockies, this story takes place in like Missouri, I think. It's like a perfect country. So I feel like Missouri. I've always thought that was like Missouri. And yeah, Missouri. And so it's all happening. And they're like, yep, you're going to the Rockies. But a black bear that lived in Missouri, which is a more humid and more wet environment, isn't going to survive in the Rockies. It's too small, and it's just not suited for that environment. It's because it's like, imagine, actually it's happened with indigenous people too, but we're not going to say that there, because we transported them and stuff, but we treated them pretty badly. They have these animals that they are like, hey, you don't belong here. This was your land, not anymore. Over there. And it really just brings into perspective that, hey, it's like we do it from our perspective, but this movie gives us their perspective on it and why they do it. Maybe it's a little over dramatized, but the point still stands. Their lives get ruined and they get their stuff stolen from them for no real reason besides, funny Migu Gaga. More land, more people, higher HOA and stuff. But it's like the movie, all the houses look pretty similar. They don't really have many differences, and they show this perfect lifestyle, which is like Girl Scouts walking around with a little wagon carrying their sweet treats, barbecues on the daily, and then there's the other side, which is the more rich upper class people who hate the animals. They're probably the ones who, I think the main girl, who's like the bad one, is a real estate agent, I feel. She has that kind of aesthetic to her. And so she wants more houses, but these animals are there, and it's like, you can't be here. And so they get real angry, and it creates like, we need these guys out of here. And she's a very prevalent figure in getting them out of there, even though she's probably the reason there's houses there. And yeah, it really just shows the impact that we have on the environment in suburban neighborhoods, and how we should accept these animals that kind of make their way into our places because we take their place. If they're, I think what the moral of that story should be is share it with wildlife. Yeah, maybe it's a nuisance to have stuff rumbling through your trash can, but it's also a nuisance to have your house uprooted and made into a 3-story wooden building. So, it happens. Part 2 complete.